What's up, y'all? I'm gonna let some people join before we get this live going. Me and Grayson here. We are just hanging out in the basement in the podcast studio. So this isn't going to be a normal episode, obviously. It's just me. There's no co-host Nick or Jesse. Chris is not here. Just me and Grayson are hanging out. But wanted to get something up for you guys. Obviously, we haven't posted a new episode today. So I'm tuning in by myself. We're going to get the show going right now.
You know what time it is.
Podcast Tuesday!
Live from Made to Motivate.
Has a goddamn Coca-Cola's house on a Tuesday night? Damn it!
So what up, guys? This is Made to Motivate Podcast Season 2, episode, 28 and a half, 29, mini episode. I don't know if we're really considering this a full episode or anything, but wanted to get something at least recorded, just kind of talk with y'all, check in, see everything's going in light of all the craziness in the world right now. Obviously, it's just me. There's no joined as always by Nick Mancuso or Jesse Unk from Sports Illustrated. No Chris the Film Freak Kessinger for you all today. Just myself. I'll preface just from the start, this isn't a normal episode. Like, we're not obviously going to get any debates between the four of us or three of us, or I don't have anybody here to hold me accountable to my opinions or anything by any means. But just a check-in, life check-in, a mental check-in on everybody. Kind of discuss everything that's going on right now. It's nothing political. This isn't going to be any in-depth research as our typical episodes go. But I just wanted to reach out to everybody about just everything else. You know, Facebook has been crazy. That's how we all communicate. It's how we share the show. It's how I know most of you, you know, with the exception of the group of you that I know in person or whatever. But regardless, life's crazy. Facebook is crazy. The world's crazy. Everyone's in mask frenzy. The newest thing today, or I think it came out yesterday, is this doctor video going around about taking some malaria drug to cure COVID and whatever. And I wanted to kind of just take things back to episode 1 when me and Nick very first started the show. And the very first episode we did was just about life, living life, being positive, doing the things you enjoy, that Made to Motivate, you know, is what the show was about, you know, to motivate y'all, and really just try and keep everyone in like a positive note, you know, really just kind of promote everybody, whatever, you know, positive show. So in light of that, you know, ever since COVID kicked off, very start of the year, back in February is when it started to get real big in the US anyways, going around on social media, people sharing it, everyone generating their own opinions about, is it true? Is it not true? How serious is it? Whatever. People were starting to get into quarrels, friends and family. You know, even Nick and us on the show, we had some different opinions on things, and Nick stepped away briefly, you know, due to health concerns and things like that, which we've always respected. But it, you know, it's created a strain, you know, between family and friends and stuff like that. And I wanted to just kind of get out there in front of it and just talk about getting back to that concept of, you know, the caring and the motivating and, you know, the lifting each other up type thing. And Facebook tends to create a divide. I don't think it's Facebook in itself, but the media, politics, our different opinions on things, whatever it might be, we all tend to be very divided over our own mindset, and there's not ever a middle ground. It doesn't feel like, I have my opinion on this, you have your opinion on this, and there's no conversing about it and finding any common ground, whether it's fact-based or not. It always turns into this, I'm going to block you, or it turns into personal, and people are calling each other's names or calling each other out for other things that have nothing to do with what's going on. Today alone, I think I've been probably blocked 4 or 5 times today by people I went to like high school with, that I graduated with, who I've had rational conversations with many times in the past. And I shared a post about this quote unquote doctor video going around about the malaria drug, or Trump pushing these doctors and saying that these, I don't even remember what it was called, doctors for our freedom or something. Whatever. I don't, that we'll talk about in real depth once the guys are back on the show and we can all like converse about it and have some facts and stuff. So I don't want to get too far in deep with it, but I basically, like I always do, my point was just, hey, if you're sharing this stuff, what research did you do on your own? Did you fact check? Do you have actual links that show credentials, research? I'm not talking screenshots of a Twitter post or something. I want to be able to click it, go to it, have a reference, have a resource that I can then check myself to find facts on this topic. Okay. And that's what I basically shared. Are people really just believing this? Look up credentials, because it's so quick to be, oh, this looks like it's blowing up, it's going viral, it must be true, I'm just going to share it. Half the time people don't even read it. I had people commenting on the thing I posted with articles that were 10 plus years old. So as I've seen people sharing this, I might tag in and just say, hey, I'd reference this article, or I'd share a link, check into this, and then it turns into that divide. It turns into that, well, what about this or what about that? And then I'll ask for where they're getting their information, and they don't have any reference, and then they block you. I was like, why do we, as adults, most of us are pretty mature, but obviously not all of us, but as adults, why can't we agree when we're wrong, or agree to at least reference or look into something? I'm not opinion. I mean, we all have our own opinions, obviously, and I appreciate that. But the only time I really debate with someone when they post something is if it's like, I feel like it's dangerous to be sharing, or, or maybe I just want to share a different viewpoint on it. But I always will come with facts, and you guys know that about this show. And Jesse's really good about that, and we kind of rely on him for that, is fact checking stuff. He does the research, he gets links, he's got sources. Like, we know what we're sharing, we know the information. So anyways, I shared several links, and I'll look into them and I kind of research it. And just because I'm giving facts or asking you to look at something, I don't know why that turns into a blocking you. Like, it just kind of shows like the information you're willing to share, it has to fit like your agenda, or you're not going to do it. And I just want us to think about that, like, as a whole, friends, family, Facebook stuff, news, politics, race, sexual orientation, whatever it might be. Like, we have to be willing to come together, talk about things, disagree, agree, but bring something to the table as evidence or facts if you're debating something that really holds relevance or importance to other people's lives. If you want to debate sports and whatever, and who cares? I don't care about facts when it comes to that. Jesse might, but to me, I don't care. But when you're talking about sharing an article that's telling people to take a medicine where their sources stating that it's not working, or there's no proof that it works, and this is being virally shared on Facebook, and they're taking it down. Twitter's taking it down. Facebook's taking it down. YouTube's taking it down. For people to believe that all of these places are in cahoots together, and that they're all taking this down because they want to guide us to believe something. You got it. These are all individual businesses. Sure, the government is corrupt. I believe that. There's things that they do that are shady. I'm not denying that. But for people to believe that all of these major corporations are all working together with the same thing to what, either support Trump or not support Trump, it's not political. We're talking about facts. And again, sharing articles or sharing a YouTube video or a Braber, I don't freaking know, video. It's being hosted by them and Trump supporting it. But it's got people telling people to take this drug. And there's enough people out there, and it's the same people that are probably blindly sharing this, that are going to go and take this drug thinking that they're curing COVID or they're preventing themselves to get COVID. They don't know the side effects of it. They don't know what it's going to do to them. They could die from it. They get very sick from it. They don't know what might happen. But because people are so blindly sharing this information to prove a point, I don't even know the point. When we're so quick to share these articles, whatever it might be, all lives matter, Black Lives Matter, defund the police, whatever agenda fits the mold at that point, I don't know why we're so quick to just be share happy without researching it. It's like we want to get the most shares or the most likes or the most comments. We need like Facebook clout or something. Like, why is that more important than the actual information at hand and how that relates to us as individuals or how it's going to affect the population that we share it with? That's just crazy to me, and I don't think it's asking much for people to be willing to fact check, hold yourselves accountable to the information that you're sharing and ultimately care about the other individuals at hand. If you disagree with someone, cool, just say, let's disagree and move on from it. Don't keep conversing with them, but don't turn it personal. Don't take people you've been friends with for a long time or family and have personal attacks on them because you disagree over something as silly as this video going around with the nurses and things like that. By all means, block people or delete people or whatever. If it's something of what's the word I'm looking for? Moral disbelief, something that's very morally against what you believe in. Someone that's blatantly racist or saying derogatory things against someone's sexual preference or whatever. In that case, I mean, okay. But there are certain things where we just need to come to that middle ground and agree to disagree or to be willing to research it together and talk about it. And those are the situations where we need to be more open-minded as far as the things that we're sharing and how we react to them. I really want to, me personally, I want to surround myself with people who can share their opinions, who are willing to debate, who can act like mature adults. And at the end of the day, we can have different opinions and still be friends. Like, that's the type of crowd that I want to be a part of. I don't want to be a part of these people that are just being nasty and attacking people and, okay, I'm going to block you because I disagree and because you called me out on my bullshit. Okay, block me because it's probably better off that we're not friends anyways, because the stuff you're sharing is wild. So that's my rant about the Facebook stuff. But ultimately, is just us getting to a point of, just living our lives, getting to a place of positivity. The COVID situation has been really emotionally, draining on people, mentally draining, physically draining, people that are first responders or frontline workers, the nurses and doctors and things that are dealing with this every day, who their lives are being very demanded on right now to help protect us against this. And this isn't a matter of you believe it or don't believe it. Whether you believe it or not, they're being affected because they have to work. They're working in the hospitals that are overloaded. They're working long shifts. I have a friend that's a nurse who just is recovering from COVID. She tested positive. She got it from working at the hospital. It's out there. Like, I'm not here to debate the truth behind it or whatever. But the thing as a whole has been, very emotionally draining on us all. Where I work, things have been very drastically different since February-ish, as far as how we operate, my day-to-day. And then as of this week, things have really, changed back to how things were prior to COVID for the most part, with exception to now we've got all these different protocols in place because we are, dealing with the public face to face on a more direct level. So we have to, be precautioned as far as social distancing and stuff. So like even me personally, like I've felt more stressed. I felt more tired and not wanting to do things and being more to myself. And that's not like me. If you know me personally, or even from this show, and from episode 1, which I've referenced as this kind of being a tie to, is I am all about traveling, being around friends, being around people, being social. I want to be out, at the restaurant or the bar, or biking or kayaking, whatever. I want to be out of my house. I don't sit on a couch. I don't like to watch TV. I'm very active as far as being a socialite, so even me personally, like it's been really hard. I've had to cancel several vacations this year because of COVID, and that's sucked, but it was the right thing to do. I could have went, like I still had the ability where I could have went. Airlines had opened back up. They were, hotels and stuff were available, but I was trying to do what I felt was the right thing to do and be responsible by not going. So I didn't, so that has sucked. And, I've seen, like my friend who's a nurse who had, I've seen people deal with it different ways. I've had family that have had it. I've had friends of friends whose family members have passed away from it. It's challenging. COVID is challenging. People that are local business owners who are going through the most difficult time they'll ever go through right now, and hope that they come out on the other side because of this. And again, that turns into a political debate. Should we open? Should we be closed? Is DeWine doing the right thing? Is Trump doing the right thing? That's a battle I never want to be the one to make the decision on, because they are going to lose regardless. If DeWine or Trump or whatever other governor of another state says, let's open, we need to get business going, we need to stimulate the economy, we need to have these jobs for people, the people that think that they should be closed for health reasons are going to be pissed. And if they close because they care about people's lives and they believe that that's the right thing to do, then all these business owners, they're going to be up in arms over it. You can't make a right decision right now, but we also have to be more understanding of the position that these people are in, that businesses are in, that have to mandate and dictate whether you come in, if you don't come in because you don't have your mask on. Like, I've just never seen people be more nasty to each other over the pettiest things. I mean, you're going to go to a business that you probably frequent all the time under a normal situation, and these people treat you phenomenal. And then now that they have a sign on their door that says you have to wear a mask, mind you, because they're being mandated by the government to make you wear a mask, not by themselves, and you're going to blast them on Facebook, or I saw that a security guard was shot for telling somebody they had to wear a mask. I mean, you're going to act that way. These businesses are already struggling. They've been closed. Their income is down. They're operating at half capacity, 25% capacity. And then we want to out them on Facebook and say, I'm not supporting them anymore because of this. And then even more damage their reputation or hurt their business because you have to wear a mask. You're choosing to go there. You're voluntarily going out to a place when the state of Ohio has stated that you are required to wear one by the governor of the state, who, by the way, if you don't agree with it, then you can make a change by voting. We've talked about this before. But you are going out on your own free will to this place of business to shop or to eat, knowing what regulations are in place to wear a mask. Whether you agree with it or not, that's what's been mandated. So I don't understand why that turns into you being nasty to the employee there because you don't want to wear a mask. Don't go. Shop on Amazon. Shop at FedEx. Maybe if you're fortunate, it'll come to your place of residence, unlike Nick. But there's other options. You can DoorDash. They do contactless delivery. They'll leave the food at your front door. Like, there's other options available to you if you want to be an asshole. But the point of the matter is, stop being an asshole to people who have nothing to do with what you're upset about. Treat people with respect. be more caring, be more understanding, debate about it on Facebook all you want if you don't like the fact that you have to wear the mask, but don't take it out on that business. They have enough going on. They have enough worries that they have to deal with already. For the most part, everybody that watches the show, I mean, you have some sort of job. You know what it's like. You know the mandates that are being forced upon you. My job is a lot more stressful right now because of COVID, because I'm required to do things completely different than I normally would because of mandates that have been placed on us. But you know who I'm not taking it out on is my customers. I'm not taking it out on my friends or family. I'm not taking it out on the restaurant that I like to go to every week to eat. I'm not mad at them because I have to wear my mask. Why is that a thing? Why are we such awful people? Why have we become to a point where that's how we treat each other? It's real sad to me. The race thing, and it seems like this divide, it's really like we're in some kind of crazy movie, honestly. You know, jokes aside, like between everything that's happened this year, end of last year, between the Australian fires, Kobe Bryant passing away, COVID, the Black Lives Matter and Blue Lives Matter and All Lives Matter debates and the rallies and now this mask thing, like we just continue to be separated. And I know that's where, like, I know some people that listen or know me hate this that when I use conspiracy theory, but that's where I know a lot of these conspiracy theorists truly believe that like someone else is at hand right now because there's so much happening, and clearly it's being staged for political reasons, and they want to divide us, and they want to take Trump down and make him look bad, or whatever it might be. You know, they want to make him look good by doing something else. Like, it is crazy. I get that. But we all have enough of our own mindset and our own abilities to decipher what's happening and what's not happening, believe what you want to believe. But we have to make the conscious decision of our own outside of whatever you see online in the news, on your tweet feed, whatever it is. We have to make that conscious decision on how we're going to treat each other, because ultimately that's what matters at the end of this. At the end of COVID, when everything is back open again and you treated these people awful and now you have to come face to face with them, don't hide behind your mask. You know, people know what happens. People see what you post. You know, when you're blasting businesses on Facebook, those people know when you're talking about them. You know, I visited a place of business yesterday, you know, who I happen to be very good friends with the owner. And we were talking about, you know, how are people treating you because of the mask mandate? You know, what are clients saying to you? And, you know, this person referenced that things have been going well for the most part, but there are people that they'll notice that they're friends with that visit them that will then go on afterwards because they enforced it or didn't enforce it. And then they want to talk about them negatively on Facebook about it. And it's like, these are supposed to be your friends. You know, these are supposed to be people that you consider your peers, who you respect, who you go to for a service, whether that's eating or getting your haircut or getting your nails did or you're going boating, whatever it might be. Like, these are people that you are relying on them for something, you know? So be respectful of that and stop treating people like shit. You know, that's my message. You know, there's a lot of examples and different ways I can say it, but ultimately the whole purpose of this specific episode of this show is to stop treating people like shit. Quit being an asshole. You know, that goes for guys and girls, women and boys, whatever you want to, for everyone, whatever your gender is, however you identify. I don't care about, but stop being an asshole. You know, if you're just going to be that person, please don't associate yourself with me, and please just keep to yourself. I don't even know how you make that possible, because there's assholes everywhere, unfortunately, but stop spewing it. You know, really, let this just stop. Get back to a positive point. What I'm looking forward to, and I'd love to hear from you all, is after this really ends, which who knows how long that's going to be, but after COVID subsides, whether that's next year, you know, later this year, I'm looking forward to just getting back out and interacting with my friends, with the community, getting back to doing the things that I enjoy. You know, here at the podcast, we had talked about doing like a listeners party we were going to have it maybe somewhere else, or maybe do it at my house, not sure. But we've been really looking forward to doing that, which I don't think is going to be possible this year. In doing the right thing, like I'm sure we could do it, but I don't know, the responsible thing to do is probably not to have it, so maybe that's early next year or something. I'd love to get to traveling. I haven't really been we traveled at the very beginning of this year, prior to COVID really taking off. So like we went to the podcast expo we got invited to. That was very, very end of February, very first week of March, I think. Literally the weekend we landed, and if you listen to the show, you've heard us tell the story, but like the weekend we landed back in Ohio from Orlando, was when everything like started to get shut down. we landed, and then like later that day, there was an announcement that like there was 3 cases in Ohio, and me, Nick, and Jesse joked that, oh God, like that's us. Like we were the 3 cases because we had just gotten back. Jokes aside though, like I want to get back to traveling. I haven't been able to go to Disney like I normally do. If you guys listen to episode 1, if you haven't, go back and listen. It's one of my favorite episodes. The recording kind of sucks. Unfortunately, it was I didn't know anything about podcasting before I started this show. I bought the equipment and just started recording. So the first episode sucks. There's a disclaimer in the information. The recording was awful. I've got dogs. There's dogs barking in the background. We hadn't figured out a situation with that. But anyways, the first episode talks a lot about traveling. If you know me, I love Disney. I love Universal Studios. Anywhere that's going to get me on a plane. That's what I look forward to. I usually go to Disney or Universal multiple times a year. Usually October is a big Disney trip. We usually go for a full week around Halloween because parks are amazing around Halloween. So I'm looking forward to that. It's very skeptical whether or not that's going to happen this year. Probably not, but looking forward to that. Looking forward to trying to do the listener party. Looking forward to getting out back in the community and doing some trade shows and get it back to doing guest podcast recordings. We were doing like a road show type thing where we were setting up at other locations. We want to get back to doing that. And just interacting with y'all, being able to do more stuff with the show to get our listeners, involved. Do a bracket again like we did our Best of Akron bracket. Do one when the businesses are back open also, and maybe getting out there and doing a podcast recording there and stuff. So there's things to look forward to. We're going to get through this, the corny hashtag, in this together, or we'll get through this together, whatever it is. It is true. If we stick together, if we can really stand by each other's sides, put differences aside for certain things and just come together to help each other through this, because we don't know what's going on behind that mask, per se, what someone is dealing with outside of what you can see or what's on Facebook. People are going through a lot of things right now. Mental health awareness is very important. Things like this can really drum up issues that people might have. People being confined to their homes or being confined to situations that they don't have an escape from. So that's something you really got to be mindful of and watch out for when you're being nasty or when you're commenting on things online to somebody. Like, just think about what they might have going on, and be there for each other. Because again, mental health awareness is a very important thing. We lose a lot of people to that sickness or that disease, whatever you call it, resulting in suicides and things like that. We've lost several, famous people, musicians, actors, actresses, things like that. I know friends that have passed away from suicide and stuff. So, keep those sorts of things in mind, along with all the other stuff that's going on. Obviously, sexual abuse, sex trafficking. We've talked about that on here. We had a discussion about it with Wayfair and things like that, which we don't need to get into. Go back and listen to that episode. And we talk about Wayfair, but we've talked about sex trafficking, and a lot of that can get drummed up in these situations where people are confined to their homes or relationships they might not be able to get out of. But yeah, that's it. I mean, it's just really, the message is just think about your fellow Facebookers, think about your friends, think about your family. Let's not end friendships over being upset about sharing fake news. The importance of sharing fake news. Stop doing it. Research your stuff. look into it, make sure you're checking dates on articles. But just because one of my friends might share an article that I know is fake or is from several years ago, I might tell them because, hey, you're sharing this and I think it's really important that we watch the things that we share. So I might comment on it and say, hey, it's an old article, just letting you know. But I certainly aren't going to like attack them and call them stupid or defriend them or block them because of it. Let's get away from this mindset of that we can't disagree and still be friends or family, which is people are like unfriending people or you're defriending their family or like excommunicating themselves from their family over this stuff. That's crazy to me. Family is so important. Like that is, you get one family. I'm really passionate about my friends and my family, but I've had differences with my parents, and you know what? You get through it because they're only around for so long, and there's people out there that would love to still have their parents around or have a good relationship with their parents. I'm going off on another tangent, but that's what happens when it's just me talking. You guys know I can talk, but like just creating a divide over something so silly though, it's not that important. Like Facebook should not be our like live all end all. We shouldn't be living and dying by what's shared on our Facebook or what somebody else shares on their Facebook. Like it's not that important, man. Sometimes you might just need to cut the cord. I enjoy Facebook because, well, it's free advertisement. We use it to promote the show. It gets you guys all the links. You get videos like this when we do our lives. We can share our YouTube. I like to see everybody's dogs. I like to share my dogs. Animals and stuff are really important to me. But I like to see you guys. I like to see what's going on in everybody's lives, but I don't like the negative stuff. I don't really enjoy seeing how much negative things are shared on social media. It seems like that's what we thrive off of. It's real weird. I think there's an episode we talked about it. I'll have to go back and see. But I'm pretty sure at one point we briefly at least talked about why we are so drawn to sharing like negative stuff or like, like murder shows, like murder documentaries or horror movies, things like that. Like we're so drawn to like this negative like vibe of things, and it like overtakes the Facebook sometimes. And that's why like you'll see me sometimes go off on tangents or like sharing sprees of just like funny stuff or like uplifting stuff, sappy. You know me, I'm a sappy person, man. I cry at like freaking American Idol or America's Got Talent auditions on YouTube, or cried at Free Willy. Jesse and Chris joke that I cry at like pretty much any movie, regardless of what it is. It can be the happiest movie ever, and I'll cry. I'm a big freaking softie. I'm emotional. I wear my heart on my sleeve, but so I'll share like super sappy shit just because I'm sick of seeing all the negative all the time. So yeah, let's do more of that. Share your dogs, share positive stories. I loved when Jim Halpert had the Some Good News channel, because he was like, that's the kind of stuff I want to see. Let's do our part, whatever that might be, to somehow skew away from all the negative. Like I just need to be able to like filter that out somehow, But if you do that, then you get, if you like unfollow something that shares negative stuff, then obviously if they share any good stuff, you lose that too. So that sucks. But you can skip by it. But I challenge you all to, when you go to share an article, and maybe it's negative, maybe you're not sure if it's true, maybe it's some kind of political propaganda. I challenge you to just pause, realize what you're sharing, realize what impact it might have on the people that see it, and then decide, do I still share this? Is it still that important? What message am I conveying by doing this? What am I looking to get from it by doing it? What are you taking away? Is that share really important to your day? And is it something that's going to positively impact people? It might be a negative story, but with a positive impact, because you're letting people know about something that could affect them, so which is kind of a weird way to look at it, but those are the things you got to think about. Think about each other. I try and think about a time before the chaos of Facebook, and growing up, and we weren't our lives weren't consumed or ran by our devices, by our social medias. I'm guilty. I mean, I'm plugged into all of them. I've got a Twitter, I've got Instagram, I've got Facebook, I've got a freaking TikTok, for God's sake. Like, I've got all the freaking social medias. But you know why? Because it's in the name, social media. I am a social person. I love people. I want to be involved in what's going on in people's lives. I want to positively do what I can to impact people's lives. It's the purpose of this show. For those that listen often, like we can get serious and we joke around, and sometimes we're more often than not inappropriate. It is three guys that sit around and talk about life. To that point, any females, ladies, girls, whatever that might be interested in coming on as a guest, please. We've had some. We had Tay. We had Morgan on. We've talked with some female guests about their lives and things that they have to offer. But it's three guys for the most part, and then Chris joins us as often as he can. So we can be inappropriate. We don't mean to offend anybody. It doesn't mean we don't intend to do that by any means. But ultimate purpose of the show is to positively impact your life one way or another, whether it makes you laugh, or we share something on the show, or we talk about a topic that's relevant to you that makes a difference. Made to motivate. That's what we're here to do. I want to motivate you to do better in your life, to give more, to be a better person, to your spouse, to your family, to your friends, to your kids, to your pets. All they've got is us. Our pets need us. That's all they look forward to. I would love to live a day in the life of a dog. They know nothing but good. I got the best life. Grayson's over here just freaking snoozing away. No responsibilities, living it up. He doesn't know. He doesn't know any different. He doesn't know sex or race or religion. He doesn't know hate. All he knows is love, man. Live your life like a dog or a cat if you're a cat person. I like dogs. But see your life or your vision through positivity. I guarantee you, if you did that you'd probably have a better day, happier lifestyle. It's so much harder to be angry, to be upset, to be negative. That is so much more work than to just be happy. One thing that I don't know if I've talked about on the show before, but one thing that irks me, like I guess a pet peeve, is negativity. And not even just negativity in the sense of like sharing negative news or bad news or something, but negativity in finding the negative in everything. This irks me more than pretty much anything I can think of. The type of person that will take whatever the situation is and pull all of the life out of it. It blows my mind. I want to find the positive in everything. I want to make the best of a situation. If I've got plans to do something, and maybe it's an outdoor activity, and I find out the weather's not so great, you know what? I fucking roll with it. I'm still going to do it within the means of being able to, but I'm going to do it. And there's so many people that will be like, well, this fucking sucks. It's raining. Our day's ruined. And their day will literally be ruined. They will do nothing else with their day because of this one situation. Find the positive. Cool. It's raining. You know what? Make the best of it. Get a poncho if it was something that you're able to keep doing because it's raining. Or do it inside. If you're going to go golfing or something and you can't because it's raining, well, like go to Top Golf, or there's many golf places that are indoors. Like you can find alternate routes, but when it's just this constant like negative, it like hurts my soul inside when people are like, I don't know how people get through their daily lives. Like I wish I had more examples because it honestly happens every day. Like I run into a situation like this every day. But I honestly try and like tune them out because it drives me insane. So I wish I could give you guys more examples, but I'm sure like you can think something up. But like just find the positive, get out of that negative mindset. The world isn't out to get you. I mean, there are situations where it feels that way, I'm sure. When it comes to race or gender issues or sexuality issues. I can't talk. You all know that. There's things that make you feel like the world is out for you, and I get that. And those I'm not going to try and relate to. I'll never try and put myself in the position of someone whose shoes I've not walked in. I can't try and justify how I might feel about the life of a African American and what they go through on a daily basis, because I'm sure it feels like the world's out to get them sometimes. But outside of those major things, the world is not out to get you. They're not everyone is conspiring against you. Just live your life in a positive manner, and you will have a good life. You make the best. You make the situation how you want it to be. You make your own decisions to dictate how your life is going to end or how your day is going to go. You can wake up and decide, I'm going to have a shitty day today, and you can put yourself in a bad mood. Or you can wake up in a bad mood and decide, I'm going to have a great day, and do what it takes to make it happen. Get your Starbucks or your Dunkin' Donuts or go to McDonald's, whatever it's got to do that's going to put you up when you're in that funk and you know that this day is going to shit. You got to find something to turn it around. Whether that means going out to a place you really enjoy to eat, or hanging out with a friend that is going to change your mindset, or making a phone call to someone that is going to cheer you up. You can make that difference. You can make a change in how your day goes every single day. You don't have to live in this downward spiral. You don't have to feel the weight of the whole world on your shoulders. It's not necessary. We all can dictate our own lives. We all wake up every day and we choose the things that we're going to do, positively, negatively. We choose what the outcome of our day is, and that goes for so many things, even just like your career, or people that say they want to have nice things. I want to own a nice car. Well, what are you doing, each day to achieve that? Are you finding excuses for why you don't have the nice car or the nice house or the vacation that you want to go on? Are you saying that you were dealt the wrong deck of cards and, you just can't have those things? Or are you working hard to achieve that? Saving a dollar a day, or, spending less money on going out to eat, or buying off-brand stuff at the grocery store. You can save up money to do the things you want, taking on a second job temporarily, or investing in your education. And that doesn't mean you have to go to college and put yourself in debt. You can study things online. There's different ways you can educate yourself to get yourself into a different career path where you're making more money, and then you can impact your life the way that you want to. We all dictate the way that our lives go. The current career I'm in, believe me, I never imagined I'd be doing. I don't talk about it for whatever reasons. I don't talk about where I work or what I specifically do, but I've been the same employer doing the same, well, not the same job, but with the same employer for 8.5 years now. Made a drastic career change 8.5 years ago. Up to that point, I had worked for myself for several years. If you know me well, like this shirt, I made this shirt. This is from my clothing company, Rock Everywhere Apparel. I owned a floral shop. I ran Rock Everywhere Apparel out of, a split space that I did flowers, I did clothing, I did art. I worked for myself, did the fashion truck. If you know me, you know about the Rock Everywhere fashion truck. It's really how I met Nick when I had the floral shop. He would do deliveries for me and things. So me and Nick met back in 2009. But anyhow, point being, when I started at my current job 8.5 years ago, I made $9.75. $9.75 an hour. Working full time, yeah. But living, having my own place. And that's not a lot of money at my age. I think at the time I was, I don't know, maybe 26-ish or so, and 26, $9.75 isn't cutting it. You're not really getting by. But I took on this career change. It was supposed to be temporary while I figured out what I was going to do with my Rock Everywhere and art and things like that, get a new lease, continue to work for myself, whatever. Anyhow, got this new job, making shit money, but I liked the company I was working for, and I knew there was potential if I worked hard. I knew that there was the ability to grow. There was the ability for me to turn this into a career, which it has become at this point, 8.5 years later. And I've taken on 5 promotions. I've excelled up the ladder 5 times in 8.5 years by hard work. I've surpassed people that had been there much longer than me. I accelerated into roles and got into the role and accelerated to the next step far quicker than a lot of people because I knew what I wanted. I wanted to be successful. I wanted to make more than $9.75 an hour. I wanted to have my own house. I wanted to have a nice car. I wanted to own my motorcycle. I wanted to be able to go on vacations. That's what I spend my money on. You know, I knew where my goal was. I knew where I wanted my life to look like. I don't live in a mansion by any means, but I have a house that I feel comfortable in. I have the money to remodel it and do the things I want to do and build a deck like I'm currently building. I bought my Jeep, which is my favorite car, and I love it. You know, I've got my motorcycle, which I've got the things that I want, but it was from hard work and determination and not saying I'm not going to get by. I can't do this. This sucks. I don't want to work. So you can dictate that. You can make the difference if you're willing to put in the work and you know what you want and it's important to you. You can do it. Anybody can do it. Don't let people dictate you or tell you otherwise or try and pigeonhole you into something. If you're not happy in your career or if you're not making the money that you want to make, figure out what you got to do to make more money, to do a career change. It's not too late. Anybody can do it. You know, I wasn't exactly young at the time I made a complete career change. I mean, from working for myself, working to a big corporation, and I had lots of jobs prior to that. And do I love going to work every day? No. Who does? You know, you don't love work because that's what it is. You get paid to go there and you get paid to go there for a reason. And I don't rely on things that I love to be my source of income or to be my full-time work because I want to continue to enjoy to do them. You know, I do photography and wedding videography. I do it as a job. It is a valid source of income. But I probably turn down 9 out of every 10 gigs that I'm offered because I don't want to rely on it and I don't want it to become something that is so over demanding to me that I start to dislike it. So to me, doing weddings is a passion. It is a business. I wouldn't say it's a hobby. It actually is a business and I do make money doing it, but I don't rely on it so that way I can continue to enjoy it. It's extra money. If I want to pick up a gig, I can do it. You know, having side hustles, having multiple streams of income is also another really important thing to when you're looking for financial success or having the things that you want to have. That's something really important to consider also. You know, multiple revenue streams, not just being focused on one thing, all of your eggs in one basket, you know, people like to say. But yeah, so I got into the career I wanted to get into, so that way I could have the lifestyle that I wanted, you know, and not feel that I couldn't do the things that I wanted to do. But I don't like wake up every day like, man, I can't wait to get to work. Woohoo! Like, do I hate it? No, by no means. I enjoy what I do, but it's a job and it pays the bills and it allows me the ability to do things I want. So you got to keep that in mind when you're looking for work. I don't think anybody, basic Joe Schmo like me, you know, we're not making millions of dollars playing in the NBA or like acting, can really say that like they love what they're doing. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm sure there's people watching this that do. It's just not the most common thing. You know, you have a job for the purpose of what it is, and that's to pay your bills, have a roof over your head, and be able to eat. But that doesn't mean you don't have a choice in what that career looks like and what your success can be in that career. So keep that in mind. Let's be more conscientious of our actions, how we impact the lives of others, do more good. Random acts of kindness is something I'm real big about. Again, another show that we've done, that we've covered. Check it out. We're on all the podcast sites. Go on our Buzzsprout. You can find it. We've talked about everything. That's what this show is. Talk about life. But you know what? Impact people's lives in a positive way that way. There's so much stuff that you can do to positively impact people. That's really all. I don't want to just keep rambling forever. I'm sure you guys are signing off or bored at this point. But in the comments or just on our Facebook, first off, please follow, like, share. If you've ever listened to an episode you really loved, it would be awesome if you just put it on your Facebook and shared it. Maybe tag us, follow us on our Twitter. Just Twitter is at MTM Podcast Akron. If you search Made to Motivate Podcast, you'll find it though. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, whatever. Share our stuff, like it, interact with us. You can comment, all that sort of thing. But I'd love to hear from you guys on what you're looking forward to this year, what you've got going on, how COVID might have impacted you, and what you're doing on a daily basis to positively impact somebody's life. I love to hear that sort of thing. Also, pictures of your dogs. Share pictures of your dogs on my page. I'd love to see them. Grayson likes dogs too. So that's all I got for you guys. Look, I really appreciate if you hung out with me, if you listened to this episode. I know it's different than our normal one, but I wanted to get something out to you guys. I really do appreciate everyone's support in the things that I've done, whether it be you're listening to this because you know me from Rock Everywhere or because you've bought a sticker. Or, what's up, Bubba? Look at that face. I think Grayson might have really hurt one of his foot, so he's been kind of real quiet and stuff lately. But anyhow, thanks for all your support. Make sure you check out Does It Suck? That's Nick's review page. Check Jesse Unk out on Sports Illustrated. Dude writes some incredible sports articles, enough to the point that Sports Illustrated actually publishes his stuff. He's also got a ton on his hub pages. You can find all this information on our Facebook, or it's on the banners that are always in our different segments when we're doing the show. And then also Chris the Film Freak Kessinger. Dude is incredible when it comes to breaking down movies and telling you the good, the bad, giving them ratings. If you're ever looking to find a movie, this dude is reviewed. God, I can't even remember. He's at over 1,000 something movies. This dude has done reviews on. It's thefilmfreak.com. Good friend of the show. He's a guest on here quite often. Great dude. He's putting on a mini golf tournament that I'm going to be playing in this coming weekend. Hopefully I take away the gold on that. Who else can I shout out? Morgan Hayes. She was on here. She does fitness and training and stuff. She was our guest a week ago, I believe. 2 weeks ago. I don't know. You'll be able to find it. Check her out. She does some really cool fitness stuff, really educated on it. Tay Fit Mama, at Tay Fit Mama on Instagram. Okay, look. She was a guest on here. She does fitness stuff as well. I met her, some friends, and I followed her on Instagram for a while. She's an awesome woman. Very motivated in her fitness and health and stuff like that. But outside of that, this is super cool. And if it happens, we're going to share the hell out of that episode. She is currently on track to be the next Maxim magazine cover. She's in the semifinals right now, I believe. I'm going to share a link with this to vote. Do her a solid and vote for her. It would be super cool. I mean, selfishly, it would be super cool if we could say that we had a Maxim cover model on the show. Growing up, I was subscribed to that, and that was the best magazine ever. But into that, just for her, it's awesome. She's made it very far. It would be very cool to see her be on there. Who else we got? Cordell Parker. He does Elite Pet Transport. Follow him. Great dude. Came on and talked to us just about life, about his business, how he got started. Kind of like me. He did other side jobs and then got into a career he loves. Super cool dude. We had on William Hung. He doesn't need a recognition or a shout out because the dude it's William Hung from freaking American Idol. Like, you know him, but support your friends, support local business. I know I said I was done, but I'm passionate about this stuff. Is support local business now more than ever. With COVID, people are hurting, whether that's artists, musicians, restaurants, bars, just local business owners in general. Show their support, share their pages, share their links. If you're willing to share some stupid article about some crazy doctors or whatever other freaking fake news you share so easily, who they don't even need your support because they're multi-billion and millionaires, share your friends' stuff, man. I would love if you all shared our episodes. We get a lot of listens. I can track that. But, it's not often we get people sharing. I'd love for you guys to promote the show. We'd love to be able to do more with it. And sharing like Jesse's articles or sharing Nick's reviews, sharing Chris's movie reviews. Obviously I'm selfishly like biased, like share our stuff because I would love that. But even if it's not us, you've got friends on your Facebook right now who are relying on you to share their stuff for their success. That's how it works. That's what social media is. Us little guys, we don't have the marketing budgets and campaigns and the notoriety to get by just by word of mouth. Some of us are that fortunate, but a lot of us aren't. We need y'all to be participating in that and supporting us and gassing us up and promoting us just like you're doing the big companies, You're sharing your Nike stuff or your NBA stuff or what Braun does. Dude, share that shit for your friends the same way that you do them and even more, because we need it more than they do. We need it more than LeBron, who's got the biggest Nike deal ever. And dude's worth however much money he's worth, So that's all part of just treating each other good. Don't be an asshole. Treat your parents with respect. And, be nice to your friends, be nice to strangers. Share the show. I'd love it. Thanks for tuning in. That's all for this one. We'll get you a full episode up soon. Thanks for spending the last hour with me, listening to me ramble on about just random shit that pops into my mind. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. Thanks for being a part of this journey with us. And we'll catch you on the next episode. Later, y'all.
Podcast.